Good. This is the last day right now. Welcome back to the California Company. My name is Kelsey Nez, owner and Navajo own of the California Company for 3D printing and education. Right now, this will be the last day right now for day 2 on the our agenda. So right now we're past the waiting time for 15 minutes. So far, nobody hasn't came in yet. So we've got Zoom and also with the YouTube live. So let me go close the door. Hold on for a second. Okay, lost track of there. Okay, so agenda again. Right now we're gonna go over the agenda one more time, about for 1 more minute. But right now, 2 of them have changed right now. So we have done recycling materials yesterday for 40 minutes, and that's today right now we're gonna do hands-on activities for about 40 minutes, and that's what the last slide as well. But right now we're gonna do a little more addition right now with the another project we're gonna do right now. So we're gonna do replacing this guy right here from this one into this guy here from the. Actually, we're gonna keep this as is, but this one we're gonna replace it to the electronics. So I haven't even discussed about what we do with electronics right now with the Navajo Kids electronic Arduinos. So right now we're gonna discuss about that one next, and that one we actually have this on hand right now. So there's no PowerPoint, no presentation, just a hands-on demonstration to show you guys a little more interesting stuff onto it as well. And my time for the next end is going to be at 10:45 to 11:30. So I think about a few 20 minutes right now. So but before everything else will be end right now, so I'm going to end up by the end of the 12 o'clock, just in case if I forget. So just want to thank you, say thank you everybody else actually come into this session, and some of you that actually didn't attend, that's okay. We have these recorded through both Zoom and also YouTube Live. We do have an online platform for both online website and also online YouTube channel as well. I have to change a little more on the YouTube channel because we're no longer in Facebook no more. It's not even a helpful platform anymore, so it's a bit more difficult for us to actually go into Facebook, and it was just like very difficult with their policy and guidelines because they don't do e-commerce. So that was the biggest issue that we have right now. And also too, as well, thank you very much actually listening to our session right now. It was just for the beginners to show what we do as a California Company here. Now that we do like hands-on demonstrations, I hope you do like that one too as well. And hope you like the PowerPoints as well. We actually discuss like a few areas, what we do. And what's our main goal for the other 2, or actually 3 factors. One is for the educational part, for the community-wise, get involved with the Navajo community too as well. We'll discuss that for the next PowerPoint. And last one about the recycling, about how we actually go focus on the materials-wise. So I do like to go a little more towards the focus on materials because we do have a lot of materials here within the state. So a lot of it being unused, and a lot of them are like still needs to be resolved. But again, there's like more research on my side on the California Company. We actually do a little more further investigation, also research to see if it does work on what they say on the report, and that will replicate down onto our business right now. And so far, it has done very well. It just depends on my time and also my free times as well to actually do both. Because again, I am taking a master's degrees in mechanical engineering at Purdue University. Same time I'm doing another job as well. So same time it's kind of like a little bit juggling here and there. But again, this one right here is just not that big of a deal. We still have time right now. Financially, yes, we're still like struggling too as well on that side. The financial part is just difficult for us to actually get the community involved. It is a for-profit business, so that's one thing. But the money will actually go back to these items that will help individual and also educate everybody else too as well, which I'll show you guys on a few more minutes. Man, there's one more missing too as well. But yes, that's one of the things too as well we're doing right now is just doing hands-on demonstration, do a little bit camps too as well. And right now we're trying to go a little more further, like go like a little more community engagements as well, which is like D&D or what was it? The Magic the Gatherings. So we're gonna do like very interesting ones. We do have facility here, but at the same time, we are doing community with camps. So we do have computers here. We do have extra computers as well for those who doesn't have any. Our limitations is about, let's see here. I think I'll discuss it right away afterwards. And after that, last is going to be the financially. So we're still trying to use the grant money application to go trying to get some grants. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue. But at the same time, we're trying to get ourselves out there for like we do manufacture components. We do manufacture some of the items that's being requested here. And also we do manufacture for individuals who are interested in like trying to get their items fixed, get their items copied, and that way it'll be replaced. That's the one thing we do here as well. And that way we actually go from having them have a 3D printing items that instead of having them buy the items online. Then lastly is going to be the recycling. So we do recycle here, not that big because we're not that large yet. And that way it'll become a large monument. Okay. So again, I want to thank you everybody else actually joining this session right now. So let's begin right now. So our hand session with electronics, the material, and also I forgot one more. The last one is the office tour. So I forgot about that. Did that a long time ago. Okay, let's go begin. Let's go to Zoom. I'm gonna stop sharing. Now we get to the interesting part. It's gonna be hands-on, so there's no PowerPoint. So this is what it looks like right now. Right now we're in a different office area that's much more quiet, so that's good news. And also we're gonna show you like a little more. I'm gonna turn around to show you guys what we do here. So this right here in front of us that you see here in the camera. There we go. Look forward. There we go. Up the little guy. There we go. So in front of us is gonna be these electronic kits right here. So these ones are the kits that we have been working on for the Naval Nation. We do like a dual credit for Naval Tech universities for dual credit, and they get a dual credit means that they get credit in their school and their high school, and that's academic learning. And from there, they actually learn towards the 2 courses they get involved. So they get like 3 credit hours if they get passed. That's good news. And they just learn about computer aided drafting for engineering 130. And after that, the other one is the introduction to engineering, which they had to do a little more what they learned from the computer drafting. They have to apply that knowledge with them, but also we give a little more learning teaching because we teach them about how you actually think about the about 3D printing and also how you use the electronics and that how you actually implement those electronics and then what they learn into the 3D printing and that they'll do hands-on activities and do a little more reports of what they have learned and experienced along the way in their semester. So this side right here on the Arduino kits right here, actually they're not Arduinos, but these are 2 brands of illegal, and also the other one is the Rex Quilix. So they're both like same, they're using the same Arduino platform, but again, not Arduino product. However, these are the ones that we use the kits for the high schoolers, a little more different than the other ones. We actually give them like little Arduino rovers to actually teach them how to assemble, how to actually program it, and how to actually work it out. So here's the other example too as well from the Arduino rover too as well. So this is the one right here that we actually have them teach them actually how to learn how to use the programming, use the sensors, how our functions, but they had to learn about the first basic of the foundation right here. So, and the first kits on these ones, it was a bit difficult for us when we actually bought them. There was a lot of issues going on with them. Like, for example, they use USBs and CDs. Right nowadays over here in the US, we are now using none of those 2, which is interesting. You had to find ways to actually go online, but so far that was a little more difficult because the programs doesn't even work and function. Then the other ones too as well is the sensors. Sometimes some sensors will work, other times it will not work. Depends if we get it fixed. And that's the biggest one too as well is that we waste materials off of the kits that was travel from our faraway destination to over here. That's the biggest one on the management to actually, they need to fix their issues, or on top of that, if they can actually have a reliable returning. So that's one of the biggest one that was a bit difficult on our side as well. Another one is the kits. They're a bit too large. They're a bit too much of it. They can't consume that much of the of like this goes to wear, and that other one like get a little bit lost here and there. And also with the Arduino rover too as well, a little more too much of the application. So it's a bit difficult for them to actually like use the assembly process. So that's the biggest one of all time that we're having issues with it. But at the same time, they do learn a lot. That was good news. But at the same time, we're having issues with, like, for example, missing bolts, missing components, missing parts. And it's also some parts are broken too as well. We have some issues with the servo motors and also with the other, not servo motor, the motors, motor controllers, and also with the tires. It's just that we're missing a lot of interesting stuff onto it. So it's a bit kind of like a fair 3 out of 5 situation. So why do we use so what's the point of like what these ones actually go with the Dene electronics? So the company on my side for CMC, we want to go for a kit that's easy for students and also accessible over here in the US and then within the Naval Nation. And we have a large amount of the electronics that we're building right now. We have them in stock ready to go. And the only thing we're missing is the Arduino main boards. It is very popular electronic, but it is very good product for education, learning, hands-on experience, and also getting experience with the programming and electronics along the way. We want to go from, instead of doing the entire thing right here of the entire kits, that's cost like a lot more, we want to do like a rental programming. So whenever education wants, or yeah, education system wants to actually look for a buy, we can actually do a rental. We'll give you like amount of like per semesters of what you want and how many quantities there is on your students. We have about right now 11 of these kits right now. We're still getting some more later on in the future. Our goal is we want to do about either 60 or 90 because that will fit each of the school system. And these ones are the samples that we did from our Gallup McKinley High School. And these are the kits that we actually 3D printed. And those are the one that Arduino kits that sold separately, but again, still the same level of the quantity. So whenever they have these kits right here in front of you, so go from there you go, the kits. Now that we open it, and inside you have these other kits from the inside. So we do have some of the inside, like the other function, like the LED lights, basics, buttons, wires, and also other sensors at the bottom, which is the tilt sensor, LED, was it the thermoset, buzzer, and then the RGB color. One breadboard inside of there. And each of the Arduino kits we actually have on demo. So we're still trying to make the instructions, but not in this kit. We'll do the instructions online, which is our Wix business right now. We'll give the schools a discount of like, okay, you pay for this entire semester, and then you're good to go. And that way we'll do if they want to consider as an in-person or virtual, depending if we ship these out to the individuals, that once by the end of the semesters, they'll bring them back up from their university or from their education system to here at the facility. So it's like a little more destination of like going back and forth on that way. So we have tested that with the high schoolers before from the Gallup McKinley High School. They actually learned a lot to actually do the basics from the Arduino's basics. That's it. We actually do our programming on our own over here at the facility. So this is what it looks like from the inside. So I can bring it a little closer. So this is what it looks like from the inside. Actually, like have them like assemble it, and here's the lid to actually give it a little more guideline. We're trying to make it a little more modified to actually have it like a lid to be fixture with Arduino's kits. So the other one is going to be the programming and also learning education system. So we're trying to do one with the PowerPoint. We have a PowerPoint right away, but we're trying to put that one on our website because they'll know that we have a website ready to go. They'll go log in, and that they'll use that one as a platform. It is a open source, so that's good news for anybody else. Just to like not to copy paste the program. No. You have to create your own profile. Then you download the programming, and that you go learn you learn the steps along the way with the PowerPoint. Oh, okay. So I heard something. Okay, but yeah, along the way with the programming, and that way it'll be easier for them. And not that we do have like step-by-steps process. That way they'll learn from the beginners. That from there we're trying to do a little more of the our Arduino kits. We want to do more about the moderate area. So the moderate will be a little more towards this area right here, these two. So a little more advanced. They had to learn a little more about the servo motors, the other motor too as well, which is the EPS servo motor. It's like a little slower motor controller rather than a faster one. Then there's the other one with the sensors as well for the tick and pin sensor. Then there's the other one that does the little more RGB colors, a little more advanced LEDs. Also with the using the LED screens with the just the LEDs arrays. So that's one thing we're gonna go for that one next. And then they'll have to learn a little more about the buzzers too as well. We're trying to get 2 of them at a time. That way they'll learn about active and passive buzzers as well. And that we go a little more further ahead along the sensors here and there. So that's out of time. Okay, we're still good to go. All right then. So then from here, once we move from this one on our camp, we are trying to get our goals to actually go from here to here. There we go. Okay, there we go. So from our right to left, this is what we're trying to do for our calcium company. So once we see these kits as is, and that they do have some like issues going on with them, we tried looking online to see we can actually have some fixed issues. If you want to like look for the programming, sometimes it's a bit difficult to actually maneuver into their site. It's a bit more difficult to find and also look for the programming. So this is a little more difficult from our side right here, but we want to transfer these guys onto this side right here. We have the 3D printing kits right here. So the other side is just the rover itself. We made that one on the Army Research Laboratory. The one below here is from Navajo University, from the soil moisture. So this is the soil moisture control. We do make these ones right here with the micro Arduino board and with other materials as well. So that was one thing we're just trying to get to that one right now. And then these other two you see them from the previous one. One's the little mini lathe. It was for both egg and also a mini lathe, but it's just of our like light material. And this is the robotic arm. We're trying to get that one ready to go, but we don't have the right materials because these ones are a little bit too small for the pipe. But since we actually have this one, we got the visual of it, we can actually remodify our own system. So it's not like a bit more difficult task. And not that trying to 3D print some of the materials, like for example, the Arduino wheels and also the servo motors as well. There was a suggestion that can't you just do a kit with the sensors, but also can you do one with a blueprint with the Arduinos? Yes, we can. That's the one thing we're gonna do our next goal right now. It just depends like how much they have to use of materials, understand what's going on. That'll be our next goal from there later on. Then the next one was the other on campus or on in camp engineering camp. So sorry for that. So we're trying to do one that's in camp. We're trying to teach them about robotics arms, actually teach them about the using little crafts, hand crafts here and there. We did one on online a few years ago since 2019, and now that we did one here since last, I think it was like a few months ago. That's when we did a little more hand activities to do a little about learning about the robotic arm, learning about these little soft robotics on using the cups and straws. So we do a little more the hands-on activities first, so that way they'll learn a lot more toward engineering concept, learn about why these one works okay, and how does it work on these paper cups before doing the 3D printing. And then we transfer these ones, oh, I almost show myself, these ones into the 3D printing parts, and that's where we get a little more interested into that way they'll learn a lot more. Then we do a little more toward the robotic arms and claws. Then we do a little more towards the rovers. That'll be interesting. That'll be our next step later on in the future of like not just like rovers like doing the Arduinos. We want to do one rover that's a little more mechanical properties, where it's just like having like do little toys or just like a little hand toys for them to actually take around. But it's just for rovers for NASA related or engineering related as well. Okay, it's now 10:35 and only one. Okay, it's okay. All right, that's all right. That's all right. But anything else? I was gonna say any questions, any comments. But again, if you want to do more questions and comments, go down below on our comment sections, write down your feedback and also questions too as well that does relate to these ones. What our goal is, what our financial goal is for these Arduino kits, not that what is your or any other questions that you do have related to these items too as well. But again, we are still working on these right now. We still have these kits here. They're just like collecting dust. That's the problem. So as you notice from the Arduinos and also this little guy right here, they're collecting dust. So it's been on the shelf for like years. As you can see, dust onto this little guy. So, but again, we are here at the CMC where we do have all the resources, we do have the materials, and we also have the kits. So for education system, if you guys are interested, we are ready to go with our sensors and let us know on our website. Well, just go to our YouTube channel, go to our website and go from there. We're trying to go forward towards the Dene or Navajo students, and also with a non-Navajos, which is okay to we're open to now open sources. And after that, we're trying to like get them to our let's say our radius around to do this will be from Gallup area to Window Rock diameter. So we're trying to go a little more farther, a little more. We're trying to do one for chapter houses, but it's a little more complicated. But I don't think it's not that complicated. We're trying to get ourselves out there right now to see if we can actually make them be aware that we're here at the industry. So we're trying to do these ones right now. I think that's it. Okay, we're good to go. 10:37. I'm gonna end it right now. We could go for the next one about 10:45, I think. Yeah, 10:45. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right now at 10:45. Or I think we can still make this fill in the gap right here. So we're gonna do the next one right now. So we gotta change a little more, then we'll stop from there after that one. So we'll go from there. So the next one is the recycled material. So now you've seen the Arduino's electronics, and also what we have is electronic kits and our project goals for this upcoming events. Our next one is the recycling process. So from our previous video, we did discuss about the recycling materials. Some of it is like a bit more difficult to transcribe trash and recycling. So from our business, we are doing it very small, slowly first before we actually expand a little more. Right now, we're just in a small office right now to actually like do few things here and there. But we're trying to do a little more on investigating like how you actually melt them, how you actually scrap them. Disassembly, how long does that take? A little bit while, depending what materials that we do have to as well. That depends, and also we do recycle some of the other materials that we do process that. So let me go divert my camera to the one that we're hiding right now. So going from this to this. So now you see everything else right now. And this is the exciting part that we're doing right now. So this is the example like how these ones came about. So these ones right here were some were donated to me, some were given to me too as well, since they noticed that we're here. So there's like plastic bags. We do have like a large bin of that one too as well. Not like a large bin, like a little trash bin. We have like little boxes of these electronics. Look, we did disassemble them right away. As you can see from here, from the example, from these electronics, we disassembled them. And after we take them apart to actually separate from the plastic, steels, electronics, go from there. That's a way given like little old electronics as well from the 1970s. Some that say they say that they do break. And they ask me if I'm an engineer expert for electronics. No, not really. I wish I could. I wish I could. But again, from there, I think these are like very old and that you don't have the diagram for them. So I just like disassemble them, recycle them, go from there, including clothes too as well. So these clothes were given. We do have like we used to have a 3 bags, but now we went down to like 1 box right now. So it's kind of interesting that how we actually transverse from a larger quantity of our office all stuffed, but now we shrunk it down because we actually took our time. We actually like managed to actually disassemble them. Now that we actually go from there. Let's say we have about 1040. Okay. Okay, 1040. Oh, somebody's spraying on that there. All right. But at the we do separate these ones right here, and also we are given with these metals too as well. So we end up giving they gave us like brass, copper. Then they gave us like lead too as well that they found. Then they gave us aluminum cans like everywhere else too as well. So I guess they kept aluminum cans for themselves to recycle it. But again, it depends like how much they recycle it from the reseller. So it just is like I did my recycling for aluminum cans and also aluminum, and it's not that very financial. It's kind of okay. You earn a little cash pocket. That's about 0.40 cents per pound. And it does like not that much of a deal. So I got for cans, it's like about $1.30. Then the other ones for larger alternators, if you disassemble it together, give them the aluminum components, you get like about $4, depending on the pounds too as well. It's again, well, it's like about 3 pounds for the other ones, maybe 4 pounds. The other one's like about 15, 13 pounds. So it's a little more difficult from there. Now that from there, we actually disassemble these parts to actually look for motors that works very well. And we actually disassemble some of the other fixtures too as well. So for example, we took out some of these screws and other fixtures too as well, which we do like too as well. Gears too as well. We're trying to like figure out what to do with the gears to actually make them very interesting later on in the future. I think we're almost good to go. But yeah, this is what we've been doing right now for recycling the materials. So whenever you bring in electronics or any other materials, we do bring it in. Just be aware of that. We'll have them outside saying like we're open to actually receive items, but we're closed to like not receive item full capacity because again, it is a large monument, but again, it has been very improved very well later on in the future. So let me go end this meeting end this Zoom right now. I'm gonna switch it out to the other Zoom for about 10:45 and go from there. 10:43. I'm going to start until 10:45. I can, yeah, we do have that right there. Hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration for the hands-on and then at that found out that there's like kits over here. So hope you guys are excited about that one. So let me know about the website. So we're trying to get those online right away as soon as possible. And it's just that for me, it's just like a one-man person. So I used to have another person, but then he left for another pursuing another job. So let me see how's the battery going. Okay, go for a battery before we begin. Yes. So back to the video right now for our hand demonstration right now. So for the previous one, the video, we did discuss about the recycled materials and also what the community helped as well. So we are limited with materials, so that's good news for us. And then with the materials, how do we actually implement these with 3D printing it as well? So with plastic bag, we can actually scrap it down to melt it down. Then the other ones is the other materials. We have ABS and um, PVC pipes. That's a little more tricky. We're trying to get around that one too as well. So a little more, not that, a little more, not, it's not hard. It's a little challenging. That's one where we want to try is do a little more challenge on these materials. Then I would do electronics as well. So that's the easy part, just to disassemble it. But the one thing we're having issues is like trying to break down the other electronics, which is the PCB boards, wires, smaller ones, and then most sensors too as well. Then other one's the last one is the wirings. Wires were okay. We got some interesting wire strippers that we use 3D printing to make it work. Then the other one is it's just breaking down the other electronics as well, so it doesn't take a little while for it to disassemble. It's just makes more room of the plastic parts components. So that was a ABS material. So we have to figure out how to actually remanufacture that one. And last one is the clothes. So we do shred it down, but trying to figure out how to actually use the clothes to actually make some interesting items off of that one. So since you saw, oh yeah, also with metals as well, aluminum, easiest part of all, we got to have metal here. Brass, brass is a little more very rarish, but some of them they do bring it in for like recycling, so that way we can scrap it down, turn it like a very raw material. Lead, very interesting material, but again, people actually take it to somewhere else. But again, lead is very interesting, but also dangerous. We're trying to handle it. It's okay to handle it too as well, but it's just the evaporation of it. So trying to keep that minimum. And then the last one is the copper. Copper is very difficult to recycle because we try to melt it to the highest point, and melting it is very hard. About maybe 16,000 Fahrenheit. Maybe it's like about 1,600 or to about 17 or 1,800 Fahrenheit, so about 1,800, 1,700. So it's a little more difficult here and there about the challenges around these areas, but some of them are easy versus others that are like need to be challenged, and also what we can approach from that direction. So we can go from there to the other one. And how we actually do that? Well, let's go move you guys over here to the interesting part. Move you guys a little forward. Yeah, I ruined the surprise, but that's okay. Just over here to this little guy area. So bring this guy down a little more. I'm gonna charge this battery up. Okay. That way, I had to have that issue yesterday where the battery died in my live stream ended. So this one right here is the one we actually get into right now. So we start off with the clothes right here. So we actually have these ones. So this is the clothes that we actually have like a demonstration where you rip them apart, tear them up, tear them down, and we get the items like, for example, buttons, separate those ones, metals, components, and also metal pins that's already in there. Then we still scrap it down a little more to actually get a little more few of the threads, a little more strings, and then go from there. Then from there, we actually scrap it down to actually make them as materials. So we break them down to make them like little 6 inches by 6 inches by 24 inches materials. So there's just like a materials. I think I forgot to bring down out, but it's okay. We scrap them down to like little textile materials, wherever's enough room that's still good condition, so that way it still have a good fade color, a little more colorish, interesting colors like black, red. We do have those colors here, and that's up. From there, we actually hold those out. So from the other clothes that's already fully good to go, or actually from this side to this side up here, there we go. So from those clothes that you saw on the other side, we give about 30 days for them to actually buy the clothes if they're interested. And once that 30 days up, we have to tear them down because again, nobody doesn't want it. It's like, okay, refresh it, then we'll tear it down from there. Then from there, we get to the materials. The materials actually being used to actually like do like little small projects, maybe like smaller, interesting items. Go from there. Oh, what's that? Oh no, my OBS disconnected. Oh well, it's okay. Connection success. Darn. Let me see what's going on. Hold on. We're still good. We're okay. Around like 17 minutes. Okay, good. We're still live. Okay. Let's see. Let's check. Yay. Okay, we're back in business. Okay. Whew, that gave me a heart attack from there. Okay, but after the next process, if the people don't want to buy the textile materials, but also with the scraps too as well, that's about to pile up, that's okay. We have a machine. We actually learned a lot on the online with the metal components, but at the same time, we actually want to implement that one with 3D printing. And with 3D printing, we actually use them for stronger materials. We just do a little combination here and there, like steel and plastic at the same time, because plastic's still a little brittle, but still working along the way. With the metal pieces, we got to cut it up, then make some components off of it. That it'll be easier for us to actually use the manufacturing part. And that's where we get into this part right here, where I'm going to bring a little more closer. You get these little fine fibers. So we break down to like fibers into this area. So we break it down. This is what it looks like from the fibers itself. You notice that there's a few little cladding. We cut it down a little more further, and we actually tear it down. So we actually have two process. One is to slice, and one's to what was it? Deburring it, I think it was called. Deburring is just like or I don't know the term of it, but again, burring it means that's actually like breaking down the fibers a little more with a lot more teeth. So you end up there's another first process that goes knife. The other one is just deburring, which is like a claw is actually tearing it up a little more further down into the fibers. Then last one, I think we're trying to get to a little more micro fibers. So that way it'll be a little more finer and easier to bond very well. But I think we're trying to work it down later on in the future. But right now we're just focusing on these two areas right here. And with these ones, what we do with these ones either by bales. So we actually sell this right here. That's already been pre-processed and actually sell out there to any individuals. Or we make our own materials here at the in the CMC. We actually make our own either by yarns, either by strings, or it could be any materials that we can make it more limited. So we're trying to like do more research about the fibers itself. So right now this is still like a start. Right now we're trying to like work around the our time to get around with it. Then papers right now we do a lot of papers here. So we actually shred them down to a little more fibers or like a little finer shreds. So this is what it looks like for now papers right now. We shred them down to like little fibers, just enough for actually I think break it down a little more further. Then with that one, we break it down a little more. We actually have this guy right here, which is the paper pulp, which is like a paper's pulp. It's like a screen going underneath the water with the pulp. And then you bring it up. This is what it looks like for the paper itself. But this is what it looks like for the fibers itself. And then you notice this is a little more of the materials actually like still bond, but it's still bondable because the other fibers are like a little more smaller micros. compared to these guys right here, these little more larger ones, it's a little more difficult to actually break it down because I think there's like still a few plastic on there. So like for example, magazine has that transparent texture. Males has those little few plastic onto it, and also there's like others papers that has plastic and paper fused together, so it's a little more difficult for us to actually break it down. So we're trying to like separate um, um, the paper's texture onto it. Then from when we break it down to this fibers right here, that's wet and pulp, we have to do either by papers, we got to do it from here, like homemade, interesting items right here, easier to do. Another we do is the other ones we actually have individuals do like 3D printing presses too as well. So this is a good example of what we do right here for the 3D print. So this is what they 3D print right here. Put the pulp from the inside, and this will actually come out from here. So that way they actually learn about how actually make it work. Do a little more further investigation, like how you actually remove the water excess, but at the same time without damaging the part component. So we did look at a little more few success here and there. We did get like a good flat base, but we're trying to make one with a little more higher edges on the side. And we're still learning a little more toward the doing the case molding too as well. So we know that this is like a little bit too much free time because it end up like sliding out. We're trying to make one that's a little more guide where it actually fixed together and it'll be easier for it to guide through. This one's an interesting one too as well. We made little cup coasters as well, which is not that bad too as well. I just think a compressed component, just compress it down, and that will just make the mold. It's just that there's a little air gap to go from there. We have a limit of these ones, about 100 of them, so we're still making more or manufacturing more of these components, and we have to have like an interesting textures on the surface actually do a little more. So we're trying to do a little more sales on that one later in the future because we are manufacturing about 5 at a time, and it takes a few. I think we do 10. We'll do 5 right now. Well, it might work a little more different because you have to remove the water excess. That's true, but you leave the mold inside of it, and not that you have to wait for a 12-hour wait for it to actually fully cure. So it's a bit more difficult. But again, we're still working around the time of like manufacturing it. Next one is the silicone, and also we do like interesting molding. So this is an example, like we do silicone molding with the 3D printing right now. So we have like we do have silicone molds here. We have to be cautious wise on our how many we use the silicone mold. So we have to like do like little quantities, make little cups right here, for example. That way we won't do like a lot more mass, but again, need more mass to actually make the parts fixture. And this is the one that came out as an example right here. This little guy, a student actually, hold on. There we go. Okay, then. Welcome, guests. Oops. Wrong. Let's see here. So you're on mute right now. So we're just doing a little more hands-on demonstration right now with the audience. So right now we're just doing is the I think since that one the screen was covered up for YouTube live. Sorry about that. Just to repeat the whole thing again. We actually use this as actually you guys saw this one right here. So it's just the papers from here transferred down to the pulps. That day we have students actually learn a lot toward mold injection. So this is what it looks like from here. They learn about injection molding from here, do a little pulping. They actually learned a lot from this materials from here. We teach them about how injection molding works with the pulping, and that way they'll learn a lot. This one was supposed to be like a tray from this gun for this for a student, but right now it did very well. Okay, just the walls. But at the same time, we actually teach them like, okay, what you're missing is that there's a guideline you're supposed to miss or you're supposed to have, and that way, once you have the guideline from there, then you can press it and it should be good to go. Another interesting project that we did was the cup coasters as well. So we have like more have them 3D print the coasters as well, and that we make these little fixtures of these coasters that came out very well. It's just that it takes a long time for it to actually like process through. For example, it's easy to actually shred it down, water it. Yeah, that's interesting. But it's just as the process of curing it over time. So you did remove the excess water, wait for overnight, and hopefully it'll like cure right away into solid, and then remove it, let it dry out a little more. Now, with silicone molding, we do have silicones as well. We actually do a little more silicone. We're trying to be wise about our materials savings, or trying to manage our materials for silicone. So we're trying to reduce the material, but increase the material to actually be a little more stiff right here. Student actually made it a little more of the silicone for his project, and this is what he came out with, the little guy right here. So this is interesting one, a little more failure, but again, we learned a little more about actually like do a little more removing the air gap. So we did a little more second try. The other one came out okay. Then we did a little more mold injection. Another one too as well we're trying to get to is another injection molding with combination of 3D printing. So this is the injection molding right here. Here's an injection mold, and also with the resin printing that we actually have 3D print our resin material with the gap right here, because now we want the silicone to actually bond with the 3D printed, which has these layers. but we want one to actually have a clean inside from there. So we actually have these ones combined right away. Open this up, and it just snaps on from here. And it's all fixed together right away. We put the hot glue gun. Now that we get this final result right here. So it almost came out okay. It's just that it's the other half of the section that was missing. And the bottom one, it wasn't very bondable. So we kind of had to go back to scratch. But I think we got to do another one again. He kind of liked it okay, but just as the other half that we're missing. Then last one is the clay material. So we do break down a little clay here, there. So we actually 3D print some materials to test it out to see what's gonna happen from like a curing station. So they actually do like a little more clay from here, make it wet. Now that we put it for the injection mold, tighten it down, wait for overnight. We do have some few errors here and there. Like for example, this one was a failure. It's supposed to be like a clean surface that he wanted to try to make a I forgot what was his concept was, but at the same time it kind of like failed because we ended up having like bonding on the 3D printed parts where the material of the clay actually bonded with the plastic. So it kind of like very hard to take apart. There's a second one too as well, almost came out okay. Same thing with this one, almost came out very beautiful until this one actually failed. I guess he took it out too early, so it was still kind of curing later on. And last one is the metal casting too as well. So I'm gonna move it this side right here. Hope my cord can make it over there. Yes, it can. Okay. So we do a little more toward metal. So with the aluminums, brass, lead, and copper, we do melt it down. So these are the other materials we do have. We have the lead right here. This is a little more heavier. Aluminum, copper, and brass. We do melt them down a little more. And we actually use these ones to actually make a little more interesting items. Like for example, we do like injection, we do like molding to actually, let's see, foundry mold to actually melt it down and make some interesting items. Like for example, we actually make this for the gear molder right here. This one right here is another one with the pin materials as well. It came out fantastic. We actually did a little more injection. The only issue we had was the centering it. So we don't have the right equipment to actually make that happen. But we want to do another project with the melting the aluminum, or we actually use these bars to actually sell to higher of individuals out there. So it might be interesting to actually sell these ingots for the individuals. Then we did a little more testing too as well with the chainsaw. So we did a little more about using the steel sprocket. The sprocket on the end of it kind of like torn up from the teeth. And there were kids like, can you replace it with aluminum? Let's give it a shot and see what happened to aluminum. Now that they learned a lot, they just like bring over here to see if it does work. And they learned a lot about, okay, there's like different materials. There's a reason why you use steel rather than aluminum. That way they're just a little bit curious to see what happens from that. But it came out very well with the injection or the molting the aluminum piece. Or no, what the 3D printed parts then came for the aluminum piece. It came out fantastic with the size dimensions. Everything just came out okay. But we're just having issues trying to like cut it right up here, trying to make it perfectly flat as possible, but still okay. The next one is actually like use aluminum cans to actually get like interesting innovation ideas. So we actually use these oh yeah, you can actually see. So we use the little cans to actually make some injection molding. So we actually have some imprints molding to see if we can actually make this very interesting. This is what it looks like for the pattern. Then from the pattern, we had to do these aluminum cans. We cut it open. Now that we save the sheets, that's a little more larger size. So we noticed that this is from the Coca-Cola. Then we actually put in the imprint and actually came up with this design right here. So we're just like doing a little practice here and there to see what happens, because sometimes some will actually have the success to actually have it flat. Other times there is some problem where it ends up like bowing itself up, so it has like a little more too much tension going from here, a lot more stress. So it's like holding itself tightly. And some other times when it gets a little bit too much, it ends up sharing itself from the inside. So we have some few cans of like that doing that there too as well. Sometimes it'll just rip right away and across right away. So because of the amount of stress and the materials inside is already been stretched out, so it has to like resist. We're trying to like make a combination of these two imprints. So we do have a lot of them at the office, and we're trying to be a little more curious. Now, with the plastic bags that was given to us previously, hope I can make it a little more roomy over here. Oops, sorry. I like make it accessible. And that's what happened. Okay. Good. All right then. Hope you guys enjoyed the fall. All righty then. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the last one is gonna be plastic. So we have a large amount of unlimited supplies of plastic. That's 11 and 13. Okay, we're good to go on time. Good. We have a large amount of plastic, so we have from the plastic bags from over on this side. So don't get the plastic bags. Actually, it should be fine. You guys see the plastic bags? They community actually bring it in slowly and steady at the same steady pace because we don't want to like over cluster our office a little more. But we actually have like enough like a little garbage can bin. So we actually have those plastic bags separated. Know the categories go from the. I also do by colors too as well. We want to do like white, blue, gray, and all the ones we do have like banana. Or is it bread bags, potato bags, some other kitchen or food appliances that has like dry food only. That way they'll learn a lot more, and including the other materials. So we actually break it down, melt it down to a little more. So we have like these little fillets, or we actually do like a little more plates here and there. And then we do a little more further. We do a little oven base too as well. So this is all from the plastic buckets from here. We do a little like a large quantities for these thick plates right here. We actually have a good thick base about 1/8 of an inch. So these are a lot more tougher. We got your CNC on top of it to actually get a clean surface. Go from there. Then we melt down a little more toward the PLA materials too as well. So we are doing one for filaments, but we got a little curious like, can we melt it with the other plates? We can't do that too because it's like a low temperature materials, a little more like a dirty look. But from the other side, still good on this side right here to actually melt it down. Actually, we use them. The goal is actually like break it down to like little sections and see if we can actually use a injection molding to see if that works the same as well. Besides using pellets, we know that we don't have a pellet machine, but right now we can actually cut this one down just a little, melt it down a little more, soften it. Then we can actually cut it down, slice it, and then hopefully it'll do the injection molding. That was our next goal to actually give that a shot. Then once these are melted down, we can manufacture some of the other components. So we do have some interesting items. One's this little round rod right here, plastic one. We're still trying to get the one to actually make it work. So far, we just got one out of the rest. These one we got this very interesting. We got these other rods too as well, a little more stronger materials from the lids that we collected too as well, and a lot more stronger too as well. So this is like a lot more rigid material. So if I put more weight onto it, it's not gonna go anywhere else. So this one too as well, we do a lot more injection molding with the rods. So we actually have like little square rods right here from the plastic molding. And if I just bend it, it's not gonna break anywhere else. So if I twist a little more, it still holds its fixture right away. So it's still a little more stronger, a little more bondable. Then we go a little more larger ones as well. We have like a little more wider 1 inch rod to about a V grab right V groove anyways. But we do a lot more of these ones right here, these materials. Melt the other one PLA down here below too as well. We do have some little sheets plates. And then the last one is that we do have an injection mold and also a press, hydraulic press. And this is what we came out here with these little small, I think it was about 3 inches by 8 inches plates. So we have a large quantity of these plates right here. Or we do a little more further investigation too as well. We do like, we want to 3D print a handle right here, but we want to like do like a little more interesting injection molding. Then we did a little more injection molding. It came out okay with the handle. The only problem is that we're trying to look for the right center of the hole of it, or getting the right drill bit for this guy to actually hold it down to it. So it has like a little interesting groove, but we're trying to do one with the router, see how that happens. Then another interesting one we do learn a lot was that instead of melting down the like jugs that has that really clean surface, but we want to like melt it down to like this point right here. We found out that online you can actually fuse the materials together and you get this very interesting fused material right here. So there's like a few air gaps here and there because I think we took it out a little bit too early. It was still in the melting phase. So you notice that there's like 2 layers onto it right here, 2 layers. Then when you flex it, it still has a good strong bonding right here. So right now we're trying to get to that one next to actually like have it fused onto the oven bake that we do have here. And that way it'll fuse properly on the temperature control. Let me check my time, see everything else is okay. 11:07, we're right in time. All right then. So this is what we have been doing here from our company here. We do a lot more advanced with that using additive manufacturing within the materials that we recycle here. And it has been going very well. So instead of like we're doing 3D printing on the other side, it does take a little while, but at the same time, we do like plastic metal or plastic injection molding, also forging the metal too as well. That's our biggest one to actually like, including the paper pulp. Since we got some molds, we can actually like duplicate more like coasters, duplicate more the papers, and then go from there. So since there's like a downside from the like shredding the clothing and disassembling the electronics, but at the same time we'll be ready to go with the other ones like papers, metals, and plastic, and also with limited components as well, and also with the clay. That's the biggest one of all that we're focusing on. Our next one is gonna be our biomaterial. So that we did learn a lot. It's like an on-shelf material you can actually find at the house or yeah, any market. Or another one is actually do a garden system, trying to replicate that one to do like cornstarch, potato starch, and use that material for the biomaterial and use that for another material to actually bond very well. There's another one too as well, either by glue, which that's glue is a bit difficult to make, or use resin material to actually make that accomplished right away too as well, which that one's a little more difficult, but we'll give it a try to a little more challenging. So we're trying to like do like both either by market on the on shelf or environmental, we can actually grow it, then we have to use that materials right away. So we're just like going back in like the ancestors way for the in the Stone Age. So that's our next project right now. We do have it at the office, and that's it. Any questions, any comments? Especially for the YouTube viewers. Nope. All right then. 11:09, 11:10. All right then. This will be our last, or not the last one. So this will be the 11:15. We'll stop from there. But at the same time, like I said on the our agenda before, I'm gonna go stop sharing screen right now. All right, let me go share my screen. So from our agenda here, we did a little more mix up here and there on the agenda. We did like the recycled materials. That was from yesterday. We did one with a hand demonstration for both electronics. We actually show you guys that one. That one I'll show, put on the video online. And last one is the hand demonstration on the materials that we actually showed right now on the table. There's one more left, which is the office tour. So we're gonna bring you around the office, what I've been working around that area, what I have been doing around there, and also it's very clustered. So you'll see the reason why about this size about it's very important for me to actually look for a larger office space right now. So I think that's it. That's all. Everybody else has no question. 11:10. Okay then. Then there's for our guest too as well that's been sent by emails. There's a last one that says about 11:15 to 12 o'clock. So that'll be our last Zoom right there. That'll be the end of it because again, I think we're done right now. I thought we are gonna make it through about 1 o'clock, but I think we made it through the agenda for today and yesterday too as well. So go from that other Zoom link right now. I'm gonna end it right now around 11:11, and I think that's it. That's all we have right now. So now that I'll upload these ones on YouTube and also email you with the videos. So I think that's it. That's all there is. I'll meet you in the next one on the next Zoom. All right then. See you next one.
Okay. Okay. So the last video on the day two, there was maybe another meeting after the recycling materials. What do we do in this Cosmo company? However, the Zoom didn't record it correctly. It was only up to about 2 seconds, and then I thought the YouTube studio or the YouTube live will record the last of it too as well, but apparently they both didn't record it very well. The last one was basically about the last of my office where I work over here at the Novatech Innovation Center, east of Church Rock, New Mexico, past the Firework Casino. And it was maybe about the entire workshop what I did for a living. And right now I just made up whatever is on my videos, which I found some videos that does reflect what I do for the past years, how I got into the engineering, and that the last one's about how I actually continue pursuing the 3D printing with additive manufacturing, with combining with other implement materials too as well. So hopefully that does make sense. But but again, you guys get to understand a bit. But it's just basically about me doing the work besides and the location where I do now take university as an instructor. But I do the business here as a manufacturing and as a prototyping. And right now, what I do here is just basically use 3D printers, just like for testings. Do like a little more of lesson how you actually understand the 3D printing process of like how it goes a little more far beyond there. Going online too as well, both by either YouTube or online articles to research of what people have done recently. Because again, a lot of people are exploring ways to actually use 3D printers with outside applications, like how to recycle, how to use materials, how to use other materials to actually do a faster production right away. So basically what I do on my side is just basically what I have done recently over the past 5 years. Started my business since 2019, go from there, and after that, during graduation after the industrial engineering, I began to actually use my degrees and also the 3D printers to do more advanced, a little more further beyond it. And after that, kind of separate myself from Crown Point to over here to the Church Rock, which is another larger office. I work with alongside with Karma Kenya Advanced Road Manufacturing Alliance, and they actually have me to actually watch out their machines, which is the 3D printers, and then look for the filaments as well. Do a little more outreach on how you do educational part training, and to understand the 3D printers. But for me, I kind of want to do more advanced of how you actually implement most of the materials, recycled materials, how to include other materials with the 3D printers a lot more further. Like I did research along the way, because during 2019 and after that was the pandemic, which um, a lot of the times I noticed that the businesses are affected by it, and that was true. Yeah, it was like a biggest of um, dark side of the area. But during my time in that in areas, I've been doing online virtual reality or virtual train or virtual camps with the Naotoki University. But at the same time, I got in touch with my other contact from the Karma, and here they offered me to actually go here to the office, which they said that there are 3D printers, they're collecting dust here and there, and that's one thing that they want to actually have me go to do that. Because again, my background is basically toward additive manufacturing, and I got a little more toward advanced toward more improvement of my business towards what Cosmic Company to actually implement more of the materials, go a little more further investigation. There was just only me. That was it. That's the only problem because again, everywhere else was closed. But that's okay. A little more research about how you actually implement more of the items with recycling, and then going through these with 3D printers. And after that, during those years, it has improved a lot on my side. Learned a lot more of 3D printers on the materials wise, prototyping, testing here and there. Not that how you actually implement additive manufacturing within the community. It was a bit difficult on that one after the pandemic. It was very difficult because people didn't know there was 3D printers along the way. The technology has grown rapidly, and that's the biggest one that I wanted to actually aim around that area to actually get to the community wise. But also there's another including of the goal is to actually make a manufacturing process with the 3D printers and how to actually use the 3D printers, not with the filaments, but how you actually implement materials with the recycled materials. Like for example, the papers, the plastic, metal, including the clothing too as well. There has been good improvements to actually like benefit those materials along the way. Even though it's with the small space I'm at right now with the office, it's just a little small space for me to actually make myself work around it here and there. And on top of that too as well, financially is very very struggling on my side too as well. That's the biggest one of the downfall. Financially, yes, it is very struggling to actually like get community involved into this the business because it is a for-profit business, not a non-profit. For-profit, we are doing that long ways, but we want to give the money back to the community to actually improve the economics in the Gallup area, and also to within the Navajo Nation too as well. It also includes improving the employment, which is the biggest one we want to actually get into because again, we want to keep Navajo students here within the Navajo Nations that is closer to our home. That's the biggest one that is like kin of our Dene culture. So kin is our family relation and not the community relation too as well. So that's one thing we want to improve our business to actually help them out. So there is an opportunity to actually go along the way. It's just that it's been struggling here and there because of the pandemic during that time, and on top of that too as well, getting community involved into it. But right now we are like making some good changes along the way and making a turnaround. So hopefully there is a good improvement by this year that it can be possible right away. So it is good. It is getting there a little more further here and there, which is investigating new results on our side that we overlooked. That was like went over our heads that we're so ridicule on myself. So I'm blaming myself for it because I don't like see it. It's right in front of my face, but again, it's like right there in front of me. So that's the biggest problem I'm having right now. But again, it's along the way to actually lesson learn, trial and errors. That's the biggest one of all time. So that's the biggest one. So, but basically, it's just the financial. That's the biggest one that we're having issues. Material wise, which not a big deal. We are doing material recycling, which is the plastics. We are down with a good lot of materials. We are building up materials after materials. Where on the previous videos, you saw those materials. We have more here in the office that's a lot more larger. We're expanding a lot bigger because we are building more of the materials wise. But again, space wise and room, it is a bit difficult to actually get from there. So we have to figure out how to actually use those materials to make it worthwhile. So making prototypes and then go from there. Not that we're trying to do like a little bit of welding too as well. And we want to do welding because of the machines. We made a machine a while back, and that one we actually like improve some machineries, upgrade, and that we do like machines to actually weld some metals here and there. And we do like a little bit of creative arts to actually recycle steel, which is good news on our side that we are doing a little more, a few of the recycled metal steel now. So, but it's just basically welding right now, so that's the biggest one. We are trying to improve more, but within the building itself from the Navaltech Innovation Center, it is a cubicle area that is not made for like manufacturing. So if I was going to use a 3D printers, if I want to print like about 8 3D printers, then use a 2 resin printers, and then do my welding, do you think all that power is going to sustain it? No, it'll shut down everything else. And we had the issues 5 times, and it wasn't a good. It wasn't good because of the power limited. So we want to actually find a building that is like that can handle the power that we can actually go from there. But again, it's a bit difficult because of that situation right now, and we are very struggling onto that area too as well to actually get the machine equipment. And lastly is employment. We are trying to get people involved with this area. We're trying to work with the we're trying to get to the workforce. That's the problem. It was just on my side. I need to get to my side on my time to get involved with them and get in touch base with it because we want to hire Navajo students that or Navajo community actually come over here, work with us. We're trying to look for like accountant to keep track of our papers and financial, and then we want some engineers assistants, either ones to actually stay here to actually get use of the machineries replacement, also etc. etc. And then another one's another hands-on experience. We want a person to actually like we do cut metal, cut wood, everything else. We want this person to do that too as well. That does hand tools, hands-on activities, and also safety and precautions along the way. So we're still looking for like employees here and there. That's the biggest downfall that we're having right now in our office. And after that last one is the room space. In our office, we noticed that we're building up higher and higher. Like it's like New York City in here, but we want to expand more room space of making good equipment, making new machineries, making assembly line, quality control of our both the products and also our employees, human factors as well. That does relate to like safety, room space, and also work around the areas. That's the biggest one we're having right now on our side. So that's the biggest one that we're having right now. So we have done with the financially. We do get some grants. We did like twice last year, but we did look into like online to see if we can get some grant applications. However, we end up getting denied 8 times on certain areas. We do STEM, recycling grants. We look for that one. Research grant too as well. We looked into that one too as well. We did also the NSF, National Science Foundation. That was denied too as well. And then the NASA grant, that one denied too as well. That was the same thing too as well. That was a bit interesting. And after that, another one was the STEM program. We also actually asked for them too as well. Same thing too as well. So we're about struggling here and there. The only grant we only got was from the Navajo Nation Economic Developments. That was one. And another grant was the Arrowhead. They did help us out too as well from the I think it was Alamogordo, or I think it was Los Lunas, I think it was. I can't remember the name of the New Mexico. But again, those are the only 2 that we have gotten our grant funding so far. It did approve. That was good news. That did a little bump to do more supplies and then get some equipment. That was great. But then right now it's just struggling over the like getting grants after grants because of the because again we're for profit, but we're not making the money within the community because the community doesn't know that we're doing additive manufacturing here. There's technology that is here in the Gallup area and Church Rock. We can help them out. It's just as it's getting them involved and then trying to get ourselves going right away through online website, through our communication, getting socialized along the way. That was the biggest one that we're having struggling issues here and there. We do have a GoFundMe online. It's still active, still going. It's just that there's not any activities going on right now. So that's one thing we're still struggling along the way here and there. So it has been like 5 years. Good improvements along the way. That's great. We are like doing great job. But the problem is the Other way around, employment, financial, and room space, we're still like in a little same spot. So again, we're like Cal's micro company, so micro, we're still small. But again, we're still doing like great improvements, like research. That was great news. Materials, we're okay. We're recycling here and there. But again, it's just the other way around of the like financial, human factors and the expanding. So that's the biggest one that we're going through right now. So, but again, along the ways right now, I think that's all of it. I hope I show you guys the pictures along the way and the videos too. I think I went over my 12 minutes, but I think I'll add more pictures. I think it will go over about 15 minutes. But right now, yeah, this is what I've been doing right now over the past years. From summer school, I started from Navaltech University for my first printer, which is the white one. After that, started with the summer camp from many farms. That was the one with the students with the. I think I put one with the students with my instructor. Used to work with Harry Whiting, but right now he retired after, he retired after about 2018, 17. I can't remember. After that, did a lot more of improvements along the way during my school, but I graduated. After now, I kind of went after towards the online teachings, did some more activities hands-on. We did more equipment improvements. We do like a lot of interesting things along the way, and we have expanded along the way. So I think you've seen the office. So I was like the old photos, and right now you have seen our new photos, which is our big improvements along the way, and we have improved a lot along the way, and I'm very happy about it. I am very happy about it. I am good at what I'm doing right now on my side. There was like good improvements along the way. There were some videos I had to go get to download onto the YouTube. That way I'll know that this is what I have done recently over the past few years. And then there was some good people that have helped me along the way. I think I'll put a video on down hopefully by later in the future if I can find it. And after that, yeah, it has been doing great along the way. And I haven't done it without my instructors, with my professors. Then I haven't done it without Navaltech University too as well. That have helped me along the way with the keep pursuing my degree for the bachelor's. I'm first in my family out of it. That I have gone with a higher degree, and that I have done great along the way, even though pandemic happened. But again, did some great things along the way to actually make it happen. Do some like research and developments to see how everything else actually improve along the way. After that, but yeah, my last final words is just that we're still here, ladies and gentlemen. We're still here at the Church Rock. We're still here at Navajo Navajo Innovation Center, Navajo Innovation Center. Sorry. And after that, this is a Navajo-owned business. I am Navajo. My name is Kelsey Nez. I'm going to introduce myself and Dine and my clans right now. So as we Yat Nadis Eja Dine Nishle Hani Hani Bashichin na Kai Dine Dashi. Sorry. Nadis Eja Dine Nishle Hani Hani Bashichin na Kai Dine Dashiche Tori Chiji Dashin. There you go. I messed up on my three clans, so sorry about that. But it is, yeah, I am Navajo. Right now I have pursued my degree toward engineering. And my favorite ones has always been the additive manufacturing that has got me interested along the way since I graduated after UNM Gallup with my certificate of drafting technology. Because of that first introduction to that one 3D printer over at the school, it has got me to the point that I want to like pursue that degree. How do I want to make improvement? Because it has expanded along the way. It's just that there's like a few gaps to fill in here and there, left and right, and it's just like struggling here and there, trying to keep myself afloat because I have to use like the room space I have to use at the office to pay my office rent, pay off everything else on the financial. But that's the biggest one of all is that needed help from here and along that direction. But that's the one thing I wanted to say, that yeah, we're still here, and we are still doing manufacturing. We can do either individuals. We can do manufacture like post processing, like the trophies you saw on the pictures, and also from the previous videos as well you have seen. And then we do like a little more outreach too as well. We do like socializing with high schoolers, even though it's for Navaltech universities, but we want to do like on our side too as well for California Company. That's the biggest one we want to improve right away. And we have improved more and more that we're still building up, and we have like done so much on our side that I want to like thank myself, and I want to thank the ones that like have gotten me through this point. And oh man, I'm being choked right now. And I wanted to thank them so much that it has been struggling right away. They do believe me. That's one of the things that I do love about them, and that is deep in my heart. That three people have always gone to me to the point, and that it has improved along the way, and it is getting there. It has going a little more bigger, getting a little more expansion here and there. It's just that the main ones that are like the major ones as the most important one that I needed help along the way, and that's the biggest one. But yeah, that's one thing I can give away right now, and then also too as well, help out with the donations. There's a GoFundMe. I'll put it down below on the links at the description down below. There's a GoFundMe. Go help us out. If you can't, don't worry. Pass this along the ways with other people too as well. We want people to know that hey, we're here. It's just that we need more fundings here to actually keep it going, keep improvements along the way. We are a for-profit business, but again, we want to give back to the community right away because there'll be another video next time about why there's the biggest one that does hit me along the way that has changed my course direction of like what really happened along the way. That'll be the interesting one that will be discussed later on. But yeah, I think that's it for my side right now. Thank you guys. Thank you for so much to actually check out the videos. I know there's some that people that came into YouTube, some little people came into Zoom. That's okay. That's all right. These videos these videos are recorded either by Zoom and by YouTube. And again, I wish this last one was the one that I recorded with my office. But again, the video didn't record it right. So, but yeah. But again, thank you very much to come on by, come into a little visit, just here and there, just to miss out. But again, we do record these ones on YouTube, and hopefully it does go through emails that I have invited some few guests over to check out the video. But if not, don't worry, it's on YouTube channel, and there will be video record onto it along the way. So, thank you very much, everybody else. Thank you. Have a good day. And after that, I hope you guys will do this again next time of what we have improved. We want to do a little more outreach again with a lot of community a lot of communities, either Navajo or non-Navajo as well, for the outside community as well. So, and on top of that, we are active on our website. It's just that it's been very slow on our side to actually keep in pace with our fixing up the website. So that's on our own side. So we apologize for that. But again, we're still getting to it right away to actually get it improved. But yeah, I think that's it on my side. That's all of it. And apology for the last video. But again, hope you guys enjoyed this few 2 days on these videos. Thank you, and goodbye.